I'm Anthony.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are members of the Horror Vision.
And we're here to tell you about some of the great stuff we have happening at thehorrorvision.com.
Stuff like...
You can stream all of our episodes.
And...
You can check out Ray Larigotti, our co-host's weekly Cineray column, where Ray basically gives you a theoretical double feature, tells you why it would be great, and then puts it in your hands to go watch it. We also just recently launched a Patreon.
That would be at patreon.com/thehorrorvision.
So we have 4 tiers right now. There's a $2, a $3, a $5, and a $7 level. And all of those tiers come with access to our private Discord community, where we post trailers for one another, talk about the movies we've watched, talk about what we're looking forward to. It's horror fanatic social media.
And if you creep in there, you might be able to sneak in an idea or two about what we should put on our podcast.
Also, we're going to be launching as a Patreon exclusive, starting at, I believe, the $5 tier, a new podcast called Elements of Horror. This will be once a month, and it's going to be where we talk about things like Ryan Gosling's Lost River, or David Lynch's films, or Jodorowsky, stuff that doesn't necessarily fit in with the rest of the Horror Vision.
Join us at patreon.com/thehorrorvision for all that information.
Also, Chris Saunders, our co-host, and I recently launched a separate podcast that we spun off of this one called A Most Horrible Library. So that's where we talk about horror comics and horror literature. And we recently had comics legend Kelly Jones on. Watch for that. There's going to be more episodes of that. And finally, my newest novel, Murder Virus, came out on Horror Vision Press recently. That's available at Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, Amazon. Wherever you can order a book, they can order it for you. So sign up now and come and visit us at thehorrorvision.com. Hello, welcome to a new episode of Drinking with Comics. I'm Shawn.
I'm Mike.
And we didn't do our intro last week. I think we were both so just like frenzied to actually be able to do this again in any capacity that we just started talking.
Intro? I forgot what our intro even was.
It's pretty simple. It's just, I'm Shawn. Mike,
so we just did it. Okay, good.
We just went right into talking shit. So, I mean, hey, that's cool.
That's what we do, man. That's
what we do.
Pay us for.
Yeah, that's true. Wait, are you getting paid? Because I'm not. So
I pretend.
I don't know if so you're at the shop. This is weird. The background is you can't see what I'm drinking.
You got a green beer apparently, huh?
So I'm drinking Sierra Nevada's Bigfoot barley wine style ale, which this is hysterical because my boss gives me like a couple beers for my birthday. He's like, I went into K&L Liquor and I picked you out some stuff. I thought you like everything he gave me was between 9.5% alcohol and like 13% alcohol. So I'm like, I'm not drinking.
Boss, man.
The next day he's like, did you drink any of them? I'm like, Mike, I'm not drinking any of them until the weekend. Like I wouldn't be able to come to work the next day.
Wow. But so it's obviously green. I almost saw it. Put it in front of you. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. That was weird.
That's a nice effect, dude. I like that. I'm actually drinking today too.
Nice.
Something really special. Not having a lot because I got to drive home, but it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, or however they say that. And the label is Chateau La Paz.
Oh, I've seen that.
And then so I get it next door at Hops and Vines. So I think a lot of people that follow us on Facebook, they know that Hops and Vines has Rasta Dog, the sort of the mascot, not just for Hops and Vines, but for the entire neighborhood.
Yeah. So like string cheese quite a bit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's how we bonded. So Chateau La Paz wines are crazy about 2 things: our dogs, who inspire and delight us every day, and our delicious wines, which do the same. Our lush, expressive, and it does taste good. Our lush, expressive Cabernet has hints of black cherry and olive flowers, our olive flavors, perfect for pairing with everyday meals or enjoying with your best friend. We proudly support no-kill shelters, so they give money to no-kill shelters around the country. And our labels feature a rotating cast of adorable shelter dogs. So as you can see on the label, there's one. And like each bottle has, they have 5 or 6 different ones on the cab, 5 or 6 on the other ones. I drink a decent amount of wine, right? And I kind of bounce around to different flavors and whatnot, different brands. But I was like, you know what, this is a good wine. And like I can commit to like sort of going exclusive, if you will, with this. It's you can get 2 bottles for $20. So it's
Okay,
like
that's
$10
good.
a bottle. And you know, money goes to a good cause. And like I know these guys over there, I know that, you know, it will get to the cause. You know what I mean?
That's
So
awesome. I mean, I definitely would encourage then the wine drinkers in the audience to check that out, because that is like, if there was a beer like that,
yeah.
because wine messes me up, but if there's a beer like that, I mean, that's a win-win, right?
Yeah. Chateau La Paz. So yeah, that's those are our beverages. Cheers.
Right on. Cheers, mate.
Okay, baby.
We should let
Yes.
everybody know I'm at home. You're in the shop, but you're closed up, so we are observing social distancing. That's still
Yeah.
a thing. Still a thing in my book. I understand you got your first shot. I'm still trying to book mine.
Dude, check it out. Any reason to take my shirt off, right?
Yeah.
There it is, baby.
I heard that the microchip in that comes with a year free of the Marvel Comics Online app. So you should just be able to read them like in your sleep, I guess.
It's in my brain. That's why I have all this information today. Can I plug a signing I have going on this
Yeah,
weekend?
please.
So I've got Mason Arago and Philip Barragan. I think I said that right. They're going to be here Saturday from noon to 3. These MFers put out 2 graphic novels since the quarantine started.
Oh, nice.
And so, which makes me feel highly inadequate as a comic book creator. But look, I love this panel.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? So Mason is an amazing artist. I think he writes as well. And then Philip is his husband. And they do these, I would say they both kind of fall in the same genre of like sci-fi satire. Blank Noir is it's about these girls who are sent on a space mission by a gentleman by the name of Eli Tusk, which might, you know, ring a bell, like, sound familiar. And things go horribly wrong, as often does happen at SpaceX. But a lot of action, a lot of adventure. So there's a really cool. Let's see if I can find it. There's some good gore in here. You know, you and I love the gore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at, so this kind of sets it up. Look at, she's got some sort of spooky things coming out of her mouth, but they're like face-ripping tentacles.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow, that's cool.
The other book they do is called Fatism. So imagine Logan's Run meets Supersizing. So basically, the diet industry has set these cultural standards. Like if you are over a certain weight, you no longer have the rights of you know, people who are meet their standards. So Phil, he's a bigger guy, and I mean it's one of these things where you read it and it kind of humanizes. You know, we've all seen people that are a bit overweight, and like sometimes, you know, you and I with our blessed metabolism, you're like,
our
oh,
girlish
that poor
figures,
bastard, you know, whatever. But it really humanizes the people who do struggle with these conditions and everything. So they're great guys. So, you know, whatever I could do to pay that back, you know, obviously I'm going to try to do. And that's, you know, this Saturday is one way to do it. You know, hopefully some people come out and check their stuff out. It's really good. Money back guarantee. If you don't love it, just bring it back. I'll give you a refund.
That's cool.
That's what's happening local here in Long Beach, 400 East 3rd Street.
So give me one of your picks for New Comic Book Day.
All right, let's kick it off. So this is a twofold sort of a thing, because I pick things I like, definitely, but I'm also picking things I think you're gonna like. You'd be like, bring that home for me.
Smart man.
And this would be one of them. Not this cover though.
Dude, I almost asked you to pull this for me. I almost did.
It is so good. It's my pick of the week. It's, you know who Daniel Warren Johnson is, right?
No.
He did some books, you know. He did where is it? Murder Falcon and Extremity, and he did a book that just came out called Ultra Mega. That's pretty cool.
I don't know any of these.
He did Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. He's another. I think we talked about a creator last week. Oh, it was Ultra Mega, the one we talked about last week. And
wait, we didn't talk about Ultra Mega last. Oh no, we talked about Donnie Coates doing Thor, and you said he was a metalhead, and it had a metalhead kind of feel, which is cool.
Right. So does this. So yeah, this is so basically this is about Beta Ray Bill, who's the horse Thor character.
Yeah.
And you know, he gets in a fight with
Dio.
Fing Fang Foom. He gets in a fight, and basically, no pun intended, but Thor comes and steals his thunder.
Okay.
Basically, you know how it is, dude. Like everybody's like, "Oh, Thor," and Beta Ray Bill looks like a fucking horse,
right?
And so he kind of feels dejected, and he's some spaceship comes down. The spaceship's name is funny. What was it called? Scuttlebutt. That's the spaceship.
Okay. Oh, who did the art?
Same guy, Daniel Warren Johnson. He's
okay.
Writer and artist, and I encourage you to look him up because he's got a lot of energy, and like he's a pretty exciting dude. I'll bring this home for you to look at.
I was gonna say, yeah, definitely. Let me piggyback off you with this. So one of the things I did ask you to pull me was so Curse of the Man Thing is what I thought that it was called. I'm a big Man Thing fan.
Right.
He's not using, dude. You know what I reread this week because I was thinking, yes, that's it. I reread the initial 5-issue run of Weird World from 2015, the post Secret Wars thing, where
is that with art by Mike Del Mundo?
Yes, and there's the Forest of the Man Things, and Chris Starr,
right?
Yeah. So you're the one that got me. I mean, that's on one of the old episodes of the show where you showed me that. I was like, oh my God, I'm so in. So I reread that, and it put me in a Man Thing mind. So when I saw this was coming out, I'm like, oh, pull me that. But here's the thing that kind of bummed me out. So it's not really a Man Thing book. It's Avengers Curse of the Man Thing. And there's this is going to be a thing I'm going to complain about this episode because I feel like every Marvel book I read now, it's just an Avengers book, regardless of whose book it is. It's like, oh, this is a Black Knight book, but really he's in the background while the Avengers take front stage.
Well, I'm flipping through the pages right now because this was on my agenda to talk about, but I didn't get a chance to read it. And there are Avengers in it.
A lot of Avengers, way more Avengers than there is Man Thing. I will tell you that, my friend.
You already read it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's still pretty cool. And I guess what they're doing is it's a little bit of an oversized one shot, and there's going to be, I think, 2 more, and it's going to be Spider-Man, Curse of the Man Thing, and then some other book, Curse of the Man Thing. So it's going to go through these different.
Well, and I can't help but think they're setting Man Thing up for some sort of major media.
So thing. That's what they're doing. They're obviously going to bring it back. But I will say, when we, there's a cool thing where it's like there's this infection spreading because this chick that's the villain pulls his soul out or something, and then like his vegetative whatever spreads everywhere, and so the Avengers are called in to deal with this as these plants are like cocooning people, and Steve Rogers gets cocooned, and he's actually brought inside the consciousness of the Man Thing, and he has to face, Man Thing is always like you face your fear or whatever, you burn at the touch of the Man Thing. He ends up facing all these other iterations of Captain America, so it's like Nuke and anti-Captain America, who I've never even heard of or seen before, and somebody else.
Anti-Flag, I think you're talking about.
I don't think it was whoever it was, whatever. But it was pretty cool. And then like it ends up like, it's not really a spoiler. It's like, this is where the doctor that was turned into Man Thing, where his consciousness resides inside the Man Thing. So Rogers is able to like directly talk to him. And he's like, basically like, yeah, how do you think I feel? I've been in here for, forever. So it was pretty cool. I mean, if you're a diehard Man Thing fan, I would recommend it because it's hopefully setting up something else. But again, there was not a lot of Man Thing in it. So I was a little bit bummed out. So don't bring
that home for you.
No, I got it. I got it from you.
You got it. Okay.
I picked it up the other night.
Oh, at my house?
That was just like 2 nights ago. You've been drinking too much of that. You've been trying to help those dogs by drinking more and more of that wine. That's a good thing.
Saved like 8 dogs this week.
All right, what else you got?
This one, dude. Do you know who James Stokoe is?
I don't think so. Name sounds vaguely familiar.
All right, here's the cover.
Oh.
It's kind of cool. I can show the books. So this is, I think it's rooted in some sort of maybe Japanese or Chinese mythology. I'm not sure if it's like something he made up, but my favorite part, and I'm going to spoil this because this book's already been out for a week. I just got around to reading it today. So it's kind of like, what was that movie that came out from Leica that was like the little arrow guy, and I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is my favorite character of 2022 or 2021.
What is it? Thunder Thighs? Oh, wow.
Thunder Thighs. And he's riding a horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's riding his horse. And on the next page, you see him riding a horse.
Uh-huh.
Then he squeezes his thunder thighs together.
Oh my God.
And he fucking pops.
Oh. Wow.
Then he demands another horse, and they're like, "You killed all the horses."
Wow.
Anyway, it's just, silly fun. James Stoker, he did a Godzilla miniseries that became a graphic novel about 4 years ago that I would recommend too. He's a unique voice, and he's been around a good 10 years plus. Great art, great energy. He, again, like the dude that did the Beta Ray Bill, he did the script, the art,
right,
letters, cover, everything. He does
nice.
Everything. And I think this is a 5-issue miniseries coming out through Dark Horse,
and it's creator owned, I'm sure. So that's awesome for him. Yeah. So real quick, just to couple this with the man thing, so I can complain more about the Avengers. So you set me up with this.
It's Invisible. Black Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first issue of this mini series, and so last week I talked about that symbiote Black Knight number one shot. So this continues that, and I dig where this story's going, because basically he's finding out that like he's not really he's kind of a shit, and that's why this sword works for him. So I think that there's like really great potential for a great story. Like, it reminds me a little bit of Remender's run on Venom, where it's like there was this unhealthy relationship between Flash Thompson, who had the symbiote at that point, and the symbiote, like he kind of was addicted to it, needed it, and there's a similar thing kind of going on. And it's once again written by Simon Spurrier, and it's a similar tone. So some of the humor leaves me a little bit cold, but again, so many Avengers in this book, which is fine if that can like trickle off, but like I'm way more interested in the Black Knight than I am in seeing Thor and Hulk in every single fucking book. So, but still, it was cool. It was very cool. So I thank you for recommending this to me. So I'll definitely read this series. Yeah, I'll definitely read this. And I don't know, it was very cool. I'm curious to see where it's going. What else you got?
So this book is Shadecraft from Skybound.
Yes. Another one I was like, I might ask him to grab it for me. How is it?
It's by the people who did Skyward. Remember that book, Skyward?
I remember the name, but I didn't read it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you might like it. Well, actually, you're doing like kind of young adult fiction, right?
Well, not my current book. But yeah, I have a series I'm working on the second book in a series right now.
I mean, I would classify this almost as a young adult thing. I can't remember this girl's name, but she's in high school, and her brother was like the most popular guy in school, and she was kind of an outcast. However, he got in a car accident, and he's in a coma, and these shadows are following her around, and with the potential to do harm to her. I don't want to say much more than that to spoil it, but it's meat and potatoes, sort of like Buffy. It's inoffensive. Like, it's the kind of book, like if a 12-year-old boy or girl comes in, I can recommend that, and like, no, I'm not going to get in trouble. Right. So it's good to have books like that, I think, and entry level books. I think it's a strong concept. Skyward, they did option that and I think it's being developed for TV or a movie or something. But and this is the same team, and they've been. It's been a little over a year since the last issue of Skyward, and it's what's his name? Joe Henderson, and the art is by Lee Garbett. So
Okay.
it's just a straightforward, it's not going to revolutionize your life, and you don't always need books that show you things you haven't seen before.
Sure, definitely.
What you got?
That's interesting. That sounds once again, it sounds similar to my book that came out last year, Shadow Play, because it's about shadows.
Oh yeah, I think you mentioned this last week, didn't you?
Yeah, following people around. So it's that zeitgeist, maybe the I've noticed more and more, like my book has to do with shadows and reflections being the same thing, and it's like, what if that thing woke up? Okay, so next I got another one of these, and I guess I didn't realize, I don't know if this is a one shot or what exactly. It's another King in Black tie-in. I'm not trying to do that. It just, I keep seeing these number ones. I keep seeing number ones solicited for characters that I'm interested in. I'm like, oh, grab that. And I'm like, oh, wait, so this is King in Black. So I don't know if this is ongoing or not, but it's a Ghost Rider.
It's ending soon.
Does he have an ongoing title right now?
Who, Donny Cates?
No, Ghost Rider.
Oh, no, that's a one shot. Yeah, he doesn't have an ongoing title. So I checked that out too, but I didn't bring it on the show to talk about it. But go ahead.
No Avengers this time. However, I can totally see where now at Marvel, every character has a family, and then that's their family of books, right? So Spider-Man has Spider-Gwen, Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Noir, and so there's that on the shelf. The X-Men, obviously, there's a million titles. Avengers, same thing. And so I guess they're trying to do that with Ghost Rider. Maybe they already did, because I haven't read a Ghost Rider book in years. And this, so the Ghost Rider, I originally grew up with Johnny Blaze, who is Ghost Rider again. But the Ghost Rider that I really got into when I was younger was in 1990. Danny Ketch, right? And so I really liked that run. In fact, I pulled the first issue out after I read this one just to kind of, brush up on it. But
yeah,
so Danny Ketch is back, and he's one of the supporting characters, and it's really lame. It's like, dude, it's really like, so he's like this, it's this really weird knight character called Death Rider, and the costume was lame, and like I didn't like, he owns a bar, but he dresses up like a knight and kills things with this sword, and like it made no sense to me.
Did Rob Halford write this issue?
Yeah, I know, right? How about it? And so here's what is with all the medieval shit in Marvel recently? I'm wondering if, like, do you think one of the next phases, how Guardians introduced, that was the first, I mean, really the second Thor did set it up, but Guardians brought in the whole sci-fi angle to the MCU, right?
Yeah, the cosmic
so
thing,
I'm wondering if they're going to do like a medieval MCU theme, and all of this stuff is like setting this up eventually, because it's like we got the Black Knight, we've got this guy, we've got Thor and Beta Ray, but like there's all these kind of barbarian or like medieval characters all of a sudden.
Right.
With a research, Conan, right? You said last week they tried to launch a bunch of books. It's like, do you have any insight into why that is?
I don't have insight, but I don't think that's the direction they're headed. The stuff, I sell this stuff. This is, it's like me saying the pasta next month isn't going to be so good. But
well, no, that's not necessarily true.
They're leaning back into the whole Heroes Reborn thing. Remember when?
Wait, how do you mean? Because the heroes literally disappeared and then they had to come back. So what do you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know everything, but from what I understand, like the Avengers sounds like, and again, I haven't read it very closely as far as the news releases and stuff, but it sounds like the Avengers are going to become, the bad guys, and only Squadron Supreme is going to be brought in to stop them. So
they just did that.
When?
Didn't they just? They did. Well, they didn't just do it, but remember Remender's Uncanny Avengers led into that. What was it called? Like Axis or something? Where?
Oh yeah, the X-Men versus Avengers. Yeah.
No, it was something else. It was oh God, it was the last thing Remender wrote.
X-Men and Avengers. They just did a thing called Empire last year or 2 years ago with Fantastic Four and Avengers. I don't know. I hope it doesn't last long. That's all I can say.
I mean,
I'm not.
this is the problem with crossovers. You know, it's just the same tired dead horse they keep dragging out and beating. I don't know. I mean, people always say I give DC a hard time, but I give Marvel a hard time too. And I've just been buying, you know, I don't know. Every once in a while, I get the urge to read some, like these are characters I like, so I'll give it a shot. And this Ghost Rider book, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. I really like the Blackheart character, so I'd love to see a book with him and Ghost Rider, but we'll see. I don't know. What else you got?
Well, speaking of DC,
I knew you were
I
going
don't
to
read
do
a lot
this.
of DC, but I read this today because somebody came in and recommended it. And it's the new issue of Flash.
Uh-huh.
Now, while it may say 768 up here, it's
Uh-huh.
actually like the beginning of a new series, and it's really good, really well written. This issue, I think, is 38 pages long, story-wise.
Oh, wow.
So it's $1 extra. But let me show you this a couple panels from this book. The story's good too, but you know, look at that.
Yeah, it does nothing for me. I'm sorry.
Well, hold on. You like dinosaurs?
Such a dick. I mean, if it's Tammy and the T-Rex, yes, I like dinosaurs. If it's pretty much anything else, probably not.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I don't know.
It's good art. It's fun. Here's the thing, like, you know, I like avant-garde comics and shit too, but it's good to have like, oh yeah, you know, you can give a kid this book and he's gonna have
definitely.
a solid, you know, like wow, you know, and so in this book you have and I didn't read Heroes in Crisis, but Wally West apparently caused the demise of somebody named Roy a couple years ago. And he's like,
was
I'm gonna
this just
quit.
some guy named Roy?
I think he must have been probably had a superhero name, but they call him Roy because you know they're friends.
Okay.
But he's talking about quitting being the Flash, and Barry Allen, you know, his predecessors encouraging him to keep going, and Green Arrow's like, no, why don't you just quit? So he quits, and in order
funny.
to quit being the Flash, you got to take the Speed Force away from him. So Barry and Wally go on this big race, so Barry can grab the Speed Force back, and Wally accidentally sends himself back to the prehistoric era, and it's cool because it's like it's kind of like the end of the Star Wars movies. You know, you got Luke and Vader fighting, then you have what's going on down in Endor, and you have this. So there's like three things going on that kind of interconnect. But
I do like that.
Yeah, no, I think you'll dig this. It's really well done. It's very mainstream. But again, I'm always like, hey, the mainstream there's nothing wrong with that. So
no, I totally agree. Oh man, maybe I'll read it. I don't know.
A few things out. Like I don't want to go into reviews, but also out this week is Batman Catwoman. This is issue 4 by Tom King, Clayman. If you are a fan of the Mask of the Phantasm animated movie, and who shouldn't be, it's the best Batman movie ever made.
Never saw it.
You never saw it? Oh,
I still haven't seen the animated series.
Well, go get your shots so we can watch it. But yeah, no, Phantasm's in this, and then Silk #1, which I didn't have time to read, but a lot of people are asking about it and excited about it. She's another Spider family thing. There's 2 things on streaming that people might want to check out. Or might not want to check out. But the first that you definitely want to check out, you'd like this, Shawn, Invincible.
I've never read the book. I always meant to, and I know I've seen my buddy Eduardo, a couple other people in the Geek Out were talking about this and giving it really high marks. So
yeah, it's good. I mean, it's they are so there's only 8 episodes this season, and the first 3 they put out all at once. So
and then they're dropping
have a nice little 90-minute movie to kick it off. The animation really captures Ryan
the book. It looks, I saw some side-by-side stuff. It's Robert Kirkman. Yeah. It's going to be good, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the writing's good. The voice acting is great. The animation is fluid. It's not like, you know, back in the 60s when they did the Marvel movies and it was just they just took the panels. No, it's really well done. I actually never read the comic either. It was one of those things, like, by the time it started to, like, everybody's talking about it, I was like so far behind. I just never.
Yeah, same. One day
never
maybe
took the effort, but now's our chance, dude. We can catch up in 8 episodes. Yeah. And I was a very, very brave man on Tuesday.
You were. I almost followed suit and I balked at the last minute. I'm like, I ain't got time for that.
What?
What you're about to talk about.
What am I about to talk about?
You're about to talk about watching the Snyder Cut.
How'd you know?
Because you have no memory of our conversation this week, do you?
Yeah, I mean, Snyder. Oh man, I don't hate the guy, and I'm gonna get to this other sort of idea about this, but it's a better movie than the Whedon cut. It obviously with 4 hours of
I
film.
mean, dude, if
how
you
much
need 4 hours
breathing
to
room
make
can
your
you-
movie good, and you need to, I mean, they went back and did $70 million in reshoots for a movie that came out 2 years ago. I'm sorry. I mean, come
Well,
on.
the boys wanted it, and by the boys I mean the Snyder guys. And like I will say, like, it was cool to see Darkseid, or Darkseid or whatever his name is. Cyborg had some good moments. The Flash was annoying as fuck to me. I'm sorry.
Which, it's so fucked up. I just found out that the Flash in those movies is Ezra Miller, who's from Perks of Being a Wallflower. It's like one of my favorite fucking movies. So I was like, really?
Well, you should watch it. I mean, it's. I'm gonna blame it on the writing because it's one of these things.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Yeah, he's like the guy in the back, like, Batman's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and he puts out the plan, and then the Flash is like, oh, so we're gonna storm the castle, huh? And it's like, really, dude? Like, he just kind of repeats and questions whatever the leaders. And I understand he's the new young, member of the team, but it's I found him very annoying, and he's probably annoying in the Whedon too. But I just don't remember.
Is he Barry Allen or Wally West, or is he somebody else?
I think he's Wally West, but
okay.
Yeah,
man, I don't. I'm so tempted to try it, just especially now that we're doing this show again. The only reason I saw, Batman Superman was because we were doing this show at the time, and I'm like, I should see it because I'm going to talk shit about it.
Because it's your job, damn it. Yeah.
But now, like, dude, that's a significant time investment, and I'm behind on so many things. We lost you,
right?
And I just, man, I don't know, and I know I'm not going to like it. I mean, I'm sure there'll be things about it that Shawn, I do like.
You can thank me because we've already talked about it. So now you don't have to watch
it. Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Are we going to come back and talk about it again next week?
No, we're not.
Cheers. Salud. And so we talked about a lot. So the last thing we want to talk about, and it's not comic related, and but that's okay because it's Mike and Shawn related.
Yes.
And some of our friends care, some of our friends don't, but the new Tomahawk, that is not a Polaroid picture, that's an album.
Toxic Immobility.
Yeah, I want you to talk about it first.
I really like it.
It's Tonic Immobility, by the way.
Tonic, thank you, Tonic. I used to be a much bigger Patton fan than I am. Not that I'm not a fan, but I don't buy everything he does. And I just, so you said something to me after listening to it that another friend, my friend Dave, said, is like, I don't know, Patton just kind of does the same thing he always does. But that's what he's been doing more or less for the last couple years, and it's fine. To me, I'm a bigger Jesus Lizard fan than I am probably a Patton fan. And so Dwayne Dennison, like, to me, this band is all about his guitar, and it's fucking great. The Tattoo Zero song, the lyrics are like Patton does this other thing where he like drops current phrases, or like he does like pop culture assimilations into the songs that sometimes
is that where he talks
bit...
about COVID or something?
No, that's fine. But what's the line in the chorus is like watching those honeys twerk. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, whatever. His lyrics are his own. It's fine. So like the song almost loses me there, but then it kicks into this like insane. It's the guitar riff is almost like Dennison's almost playing prog, but it's anchored in this really, the Tomahawk. It's a hard rock sound, and man, I really dig that song. I dig a lot of the songs on it a lot. I mean, it's probably the album. My favorites other than this would be Mick Gas and the eponymous one. And now this is up there. Like it really brings, I think it brings the goods, man. What do you think?
Well, I loved the first two Tomahawk albums. Anonymous was different, and I
It's a
appreciated
great
that.
Phantomas album. Anonymous is a great Phantomas
It's
album.
like a Native American Phantomas album, yeah. Oddfellows, I'm not sure if you remember, but I had the opportunity to kind of help out with one of the music videos, and that was cool. So it got it bonus points for me.
It's a good record. Opening track is amazing.
No, there's no such thing as a bad Tomahawk record.
No, exactly.
I will say that I was a little let down by this album.
Keep spinning it. I think it'll get better.
Well, no, I know. Some of them you got to keep, but like the more I listen to it, the more I hear, and so the more I listen to it, the more I hear where they're repeating themselves. Okay,
it's that's true.
Oh, this sounds like Birdsong. Oh, this sounds like the guitar riff from Oddfellows. And Dwayne Dennison does this thing, and then maybe it's just part of his style, this sort of staccato, like where he beats the strings, like and Patton, like he repeats some of the same melodies like 3 or 4 times throughout this album alone, much less stuff they've done in the past. Oddfellows, one of the worst songs on Oddfellows was "I Wrote You a Love Song."
Yeah.
And like I hear that happening a lot on here. It's like he has this sort of, I don't know. I don't hate the album. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10, which is low.
I feel like the thing with Patton, the thing we loved about it, or one of the things I loved about him initially, like going back to high school, it was he's such a fucking cynic, like to a degree, like the interview where he's eating a hamburger while he's being interviewed and like all the fucked up stuff. Like, that's what I loved about him. But his cynicism has almost crippled his artistic output in a way, because I feel like he's so cynical that he's like, oh, who fucking cares about lyrics or whatever. And it's like the lyrics on Angel Dust are fucking amazing.
Right.
Almost every song. And like, I don't feel like and same with King for a Day. And I don't feel like, I'm not going to hold him to that stature always, but I feel like there's some songs in the last 10 years, stuff that he's done, there's songs where I'm like, I don't feel like he gave a fuck about what he was writing at all.
Right. Well, I think the album he did a year or two ago with that French dude, Jean-Claude Veneur, that has some of his best lyrics.
Okay. I haven't listened to that
in a while. So yeah, check that out. But for this album, so what I was gonna say is I watched a podcast with Dwayne Dennison, and he's a librarian, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a librarian in Tennessee. That's his day job. But anyway, so he's like, yeah, like they made a conscious decision that they were going to call back to some of their previous work, because they're like, yeah, we might not do this again. This might be. Yeah,
I don't think they're going to. I think that's almost a definite.
You think they're going to put a fork in it?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope not, but.
I would just like, they can all go off and do other bands, and I'd be super happy. I heard there's going to be a new Jesus Lizard record. I
think next up for Patton is Dead Cross, which I love Dead Cross. Like, that's not my style of music. Like, I'm not a hardcore, knucklehead. But he brought some melody to it, and so I think some.
It's a good record.
I mean, and the band's great too. I mean, you got Dave Lombardo, you got Justin Crane, Mike Pearson, all those guys. So that was fantastic, and Mr. Bungle was like.
That record and those shows were amazing. Like,
how do you follow that up? And then, I mean, I'm gonna give Patton credit, because like, I haven't done shit, creatively, since about a year ago, and here he is, like, taking his time and cranking it out, hopefully with trying to make good stuff. But
you're also, he's super established, and you started over, right? Number one. And so you are doing something creative, because you're making a business from the ground up. So
but I'm talking about writing and.
Yeah, but dude, there's only so many hours in the day. It's like, I mean, that is, and I'm telling you this, and I'm thinking I should think this for myself too. But it's like, when you're doing what you are doing, that doesn't leave a lot of time for other stuff. So, I mean, just recognize that, and you'll get back to it. You just have to get once things can really like breathe more, and, we laid this whole pandemic thing to rest, and I think your store will really blow up again. And I mean, then you'll have the room in your life to yeah. I mean, right now it's just you. You're running us like you're there every day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, I'm home on Monday. I could be more creative on Mondays. I'm gonna be honest. I ain't gonna lie.
But also it's your day off, so like I get it. Like
right. But anyway,
okay.
yeah.
So we should wrap it.
Okay. It was a good episode, dude.
It was. I'm so happy. So we'll do this next Thursday, and this will go up on YouTube hopefully tomorrow.
And then Shawn and I will be in the comments. I know we didn't like we normally do. We chime in and kind of comment a lot. Maybe we can have Jordan or somebody on as well in the Zoom next time.
We could try. Yeah.
And she could follow along, if she wants to. I mean, what else are any of us doing, right?
Well, dude, she did an Agatha Harkness cosplay recently. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And she's got a show. Actually, next time we'll have to pimp her show because I forget what the name of it is, but it looks super cool. So
what is it?
I don't know. I just saw it was like her firing some kind of a laser gun or something.
It's like a scripted thing. It's not like jacking off talking
about
comics.
Exactly. No, it's a scripted thing. So we'll pimp that next time for sure.
Cool, brother. All right. Well, I love you, Shawn.
Love you, man. Take care. Drive safe going home.
Down to my house.
And I'll hit you up next Tuesday for stuff, and then we'll do this again next Thursday.
All right. No worries, brother. I'll talk to you.
All right, man. All my love.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace out.